All right, we are live. Welcome to another episode of Pro Seller Talk. My name is John Bullard Sr. I am the host of this show. We are doing an afternoon show. My guests today, we actually have three of them. They're kind of comical, but they're also very, very intelligent and very smart in the things that they do. They're developing. We've got Ken Kelly here. Ken Kelly is a master when it comes to shoes. You want to know anything about shoes, wearing them, taking them off, selling them, he's the guy. Eric Hardwick, selling online. He's sold millions online. And then we have my son John Bullard Jr., who he's just amazing in all the things that he's been able to accomplish and do. And when you put these guys together and you put their heads together, and the things that they come up with are just amazing and just unbelievable things that these guys are creating and continue to create. Hey guys, welcome, and the show's yours.
Great. Thank you so much, John Sr. We really appreciate all that you do. Appreciate your friendship, your family. You're very special to my family, and thanks so much for hosting us and for all that you do to make all of this happen. You're awesome, and we appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
And happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. Hope everybody's wearing green. I see John Sr.'s not, unless you got on green socks.
I'm not wearing any green either, Ken. Sorry.
Well, I got a green shirt on. Eric, you got green?
Green underwear.
Green underwear. I won't ask you to reveal.
Listen, I might have green on, but this is not that type of show.
Okay. We're going to talk today about flipping shoes on Amazon. It's a great business model. Before we do that, wanted to just let you get to know us a little bit better. John, I think you're going to be operating the PowerPoint for us, so go ahead and show. That's me there. A little bit about myself, and live in South Carolina, and been doing shoes now for a few years, and it was pretty contagious when I first, made my first major shoe purchase. I was coming home from a Jim Cockrum conference and stopped in at an Adidas store and spent, I think, maybe $1,400 to $1,500 worth of shoes, and they all sold within a matter of a few months. And ROI on every single one of them was 100% or better. And so I said, man, I can get into this. So anyway, I do love shoes. I certainly, just like any other seller, do other things as well. But shoes and apparel are kind of my forte, and what I enjoy doing. I also do some coaching along the way, and I'm also a pastor, so I still consider my online job a part-time job, because ministry, even though I do this on a volunteer basis now, it still occupies a good bit of time each week. So whatever I do earn with my online business, it does come still on a part-time basis. And also with us today is who's the next one? Do we introduce Eric or John? All right, there's Mr. Eric, and Eric's a good friend. Him and his wife Jen, they are very special to us, and man, he just blows me away with his expertise in every category of item that is imaginable on Amazon. He's an expert when it comes to training virtual assistants as well, and I'm talking about somebody who is into the multiple millions each year now on Amazon. And so we appreciate Eric coming and sharing with us as well. And then also we have John Bullard with us, John Bullard Jr. And John is a guru. He's what I would call a mover and shaker, a visionary. Just has the ability of getting his mind to work and coming up with all kind of ideas and inventing and creating. And just does a wonderful job, and is a huge help to so many people. And it's a privilege to be able to call John and Cassie our family friends, and so we appreciate John being with us as well. A little bit of history behind what we're doing today. John and Eric have created some extensions. They've got their heads together and came up with, well, what are some tools that we could create that would make our lives easier, that would make our listing, our research simpler. And so they've designed some extensions that we're going to be talking about today. And So that's how Seller Extensions was created. And one of these mastermind deals that they came up with was coming up with a system whereby we could flip shoes on Amazon. In other words, buy shoes on Amazon and then turn around and sell them back through FBA. And so they invited me to share in this partnership. So we created Flipping Shoes on Amazon. We're going to go into a whole lot of depth about how this program works. It's kind of like a Facebook based program. That's where the deals are found. And so I know unless you have done this before, you may have some very basic questions, and it can be confusing, but I want to try to clear up as much as possible of just some of the questions, general questions people have about, you know, what do you talk about when you mention Amazon flips? Well, basically, you're trying to buy products on Amazon that Amazon is actually selling, and then you're going to sell those products back on the Amazon platform. Now we're keying in on the shoe category, but this can happen with any of the categories that Amazon sells. Basically, what happens is just like any department store, there comes a time when stores need to clear out their inventory. So basically, they'll put things on sale, and they may start out at 50% off and then 60% off, and they'll keep on reducing. And so that's what we're looking for when we go to find products on Amazon. And again, we're talking about shoes today, but what we're looking for are cases where Amazon has drastically reduced the prices on items, and then we spot those, we buy them, and then we try to sell them back on the Amazon platform. So the strategy basically is buy, hold, and ship. Now, what I mean by that is you buy the product on Amazon. Let's say, just for argument's sake, you find a retail suggested retail price of a shoe of $100. Well, Amazon has that pair of shoes for $25. So we're going to buy those shoes from Amazon. Usually they limit the number you can buy to 3. So you're going to buy 3 of those pairs of shoes at $25. You're going to hold on to those shoes until Amazon either sells out or they raise their price back up to a profitable margin for you. And then you're going to ship them off to FBA and of course list them, ship them off to FBA, and then hopefully over the next few months sell them and make very good, attractive profits from it. So essentially that's how the strategy works. We've known people in the online selling world that have actually used Amazon Flips as their primary model for income. And so this is and can be a very successful model. It's one just like any other income stream that you have. There are going to be pros and cons. There are going to be things to look out for. But the risk that are involved in flipping shoes on Amazon, man, they're nothing compared to the return that you can get. So it's a model that we highly recommend. Otherwise, we would not even be doing what we're doing. We all, the 3 of us, we have done this very successfully. In fact, back in the fall months is when John and Eric first approached me about this. They wanted me to test out the system that they had designed, and so I gladly jumped on and I said, man, this is something that has high value. And I was finding shoe flips through the feeds that they had designed and had set up, and I was getting some ROIs that were exceeding well over 200%. That doesn't mean you're going to get that every time by any means, but the ROIs are very attractive. And by the way, just in case, ROI means return on investment. Basically, it's just simply saying that if you bought something at one price, you sell it for a profit, the ROI is the percent of return. You double your money, that means you got a 100% ROI. So that's flipping shoes on Amazon in a nutshell. And I think we have a video we want to run now that will just give a little bit more information. So, John, are you ready with the video?
I believe we are.
Okay, in this video, we're going to show you how to find the shoe flips manually. So first, you want to go up to clothing, shoes, and jewelry in the categories here. Type in something like Adidas, and this is what we get. So we're going to scroll down over here, and we want to find products that are 70% off or more. So there's a big price gap between one and the other. So we also want to choose items that Amazon's a seller and 6 p.m. Okay, so now what we're looking for when this page pops up is we're looking for products that have a big price discrepancy. So first off, I'd want to probably look at, the lower priced items. This $55 one, more than likely, it's not going to work out, but I'm going to check it out real quick. Pop that open, pop that one open, pop that open, pop that open. Okay, so when this comes up, right away, you can see this is an extremely popular shoe, 307 in the category of clothing, shoes, and jewelry. Amazon just recently combined the three categories. So if you have something like 300 in this, it's phenomenal, right? Okay, so the good thing is, first thing we look for here is we look to see if there's a big gap between the $39.99 and $125. Obviously, that's a huge gap, so there's a potential here. If this was $39.99 and this was $49.99, then we would know that there'd be no big price gap and we'd not be able to find flips. So this is the process that we use. So through RevSeller, they have a variation viewer. Okay? As you can see, this is going to come through and it's going to calculate all these different things for us. I always click here to take the out-of-stock variations out so we don't have to look at them, they're not in the way. Gotta wait till this comes up. So what we're going to be basically looking for is shoes that are really cheap. Let's sort this real quick, make sure we get it all right. So now it's sorted from cheapest to the most expensive. Goes all the way down to $15, $60. Okay, so what we do, scroll up here. So the one thing that doesn't help us is if there's only one offer. That means that more than likely it's Amazon selling it. So we are not interested in that because then we can't compare the price that the next person's at, which is the whole point of shoe flips. So what we do here is we find this first offer that has two people. Let's click on it. So then you scroll up and see, wow, so that's $65. The other offer must be right here. Let's check this out real quick. Okay, so this is not something we're interested in because it's just launch seller. I don't trust them, so I wouldn't purchase from them to resell. So let's go back down here. Pull up our RevSeller. As you can see, it takes time. Once again, I got to click the out-of-stock variation. And this is a very fast way to do it. The other way to do it would be a way slower process. Let's go down. Let's try to look at this one real quick. Okay, so you can see right here that Amazon's at $49, and once again, it's that same person that's cheap. So that's not going to work for us either. So more than likely, all these $14.50 ones are going to be that same person, so we're not interested in that. Let's see if this one changed anything. Okay, so available for these sellers. Open that new tab. Okay, once again, it's that same just launch person. So as you can see, we're not having very good luck with this, and this is a very tedious process. There is really no quick way to speed it up, and this is the quick way. I mean, the other way would be for you to go into the secondary of the offers and to go through over and over to find the discrepancies using our programs. Let's try another shoe real quick, see if they have any better luck with this. Once again, we have a phenomenal rank, 918. As you can see, once again, there's a big, huge price gap. So once again, we'll click the RevSeller variation viewer. Give it a second to load it. I want to take the out-of-stock variations out. Let's sort this to make sure it's all good. Okay, $13.99, size 14. That's humongous. This is a woman's shoe, so I wouldn't even be interested in looking at those. 12, 15, I mean, these are all gigantic. I mean, I personally have never bought a woman's shoe larger than size 11. Not that there isn't women out there, but you're going to have a lot harder time selling them. So let's go to like the size 6, for example. It's a little bit more feasible for an average woman. So once again, this is $59.99. Looks like once again we're going to deal with that same guy probably who's the low price. So I'm not really interested in that. So let's scroll down. Let's see. Let's just give this one a shot real quick. See what's the same deal. Okay, it says deal from these sellers. This side over here. Yep, once again, it's these just launched people. This is a little suspicious to me. They're just launched and they have 150 of one size of one shoe. So my guess is that these people are probably scam artist people. So I'm not interested. So let's move on past that. Let's go to the next. Okay, so 865, once again, phenomenal rank. Has a big gap between 41 and 129. Let's look at this variation viewer real quick. Okay, click the out of stock variations out. Let's keep sorting this until it pops up with all the price. Okay, so this one is $13.99. Let's go check this one out. See if we're in the same situation. Okay, once again, it's a little from these sellers, so that tells me it's probably gonna be dealing with. Yeah, once again, wow. This is interesting. Adidas is getting taken over by these people who probably don't even have anything. You can see this is not an easy process and it takes time. Our system basically is very simple compared to this. So I just wanted to give you an idea of what you do manually, try to find things. So hopefully this gives you an idea what it would take. So thanks for watching.
Okay, am I back on, John?
You're back on.
All right, thank you. Yeah, thanks, Eric, for doing that video. And as I was watching it, it brought back I wouldn't call it a horror story, but it just seems like more and more that these fraudulent sellers are popping up on Amazon. And it's pretty easy to spot them now. And in fact, recently I've been taking the time to go ahead and report them to Amazon. And, you know, eventually Amazon catches on and they boot them out. But here's what happens. And in fact, I tried it here a couple months ago. I spotted one of these and I decided to go ahead and buy a couple pairs of shoes from the seller. And 1 week passed, 2 weeks passed, 3 weeks passed, and never got any response, never received the shoes. No tracking, shipping tracking information that would indicate that they were ever shipped. And then I go back and look up the seller, and by this time, everybody else is experiencing what I'm experiencing, and they've got almost 0% feedback. Everything's negative. Shoes didn't show up, and so basically they're frauds. A couple ways you can spot them. Is that you can't read the store name. It's just a bunch of gobbledygook letters. It also says just launched or new seller. Typically, like Eric said, they have tons of inventory, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, your biggest sellers like Shoe Metro and even Amazon, they don't have the kinds of inventory on each size that these new sellers do. So it's just a red flag all over. Another common store type name that you'll see with these fraudulent sellers is just a simple first and last name, like John Bullard. I mean, just making fun of John, but seriously, something like John Smith or Jack Brown or something like that. If you see the same thing, just launched 145 pairs of size 8 shoes, and zero, or rather, they may even have 100% feedback to start off with after 1 or 2 reviews. Maybe they got somebody to review for them or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, it just seems like this is more and more common. And basically, Amazon, certainly they've got to come up with a system to get these people booted off quicker because it's costing them money. They're having to refund it. Evidently, the people that are organizing these sites, these stores on Amazon, they're getting the money and running with it, and don't know if it's all connected to one group or what. But anyway, that's my little rabbit I chased, just to be aware of those sellers. But the whole purpose of that video was to say that you can do the legwork and you can come up with these Amazon flips on your own. But if you're like me, I would much rather pay a monthly subscription and have somebody else do all that legwork for me and filter it all out so that the only deals I'm getting are the ones that, sure enough, could be potential purchases that I make and flip for a great profit on Amazon. So let's talk about some of the advantages of flipping shoes on Amazon. Here's what you get with your subscription, and we'll go a little bit deeper as we go along. But we're going to find the potential flips for you. And what we have done, we've committed to doing 300 deals a month. And now, you know, our feeding system operates in strange kind of ways. One day they may really, you know, they may unload a whole ton of flips for us. On the next day, they may be only a spattering of them. So we don't promise so many a day, but over the period of a month, we do commit to providing you with at least 300 of these deals. Now, we've been in operation for, I think, going on our 3rd month now, and so far we've been successful with a number per month, and so that's our commitment to you. And so we do all the filtering. Sometimes, you know, if our filtering system's not working like it should, it means that we dig in and do some of the manpower to. If the automation's not working like it should, we'll spend the time to make sure that you get the deals that we committed to you. The next very important advantage of a subscription like this is that, you know, you've seen deal sites that will make a promise of 50% ROI, at even 40% ROI, 60% ROI. We're saying that every deal we provide for you at the time that the deal was published, the ROI was at least 80%. And what we're finding really is that more often than not, the ROI is 100% or better. So that's a huge advantage to know that that the deals we're providing for you carry this kind of ROI. Also, these deals are placed when we find them. We place them in a closed Facebook group. That's where you'll discover the deals. And there are a lot of advantages to being a part of this Facebook group, because not only will you find the deals there, but it's an opportunity for you to ask questions. It's an opportunity for the subscribers to communicate with one another. There are other shoe selling experts in the Facebook group, and so it's a way for you to ask questions and get pretty quick answers to them. It's a way for you to just kind of share kind of what your success has been or where you're struggling. So part of your subscription is being a member of this closed Facebook group. The only people that are in this group are the ones that have committed to say, yeah, we want to be a part of this subscription-based program, and so that's why we make it a closed group. Now, very closely related to that is the what I want to talk to you about, the power of group buys. Now, one of the huge advantages of flipping shoes on Amazon is that when you have a group of 50 people or more, you're all getting the same deals. It's a way for someone to say, hey, this looks like a great deal. Who wants to go in with me, and let's see if we can buy off Amazon. Because here's what happens. Like I said earlier, typically speaking, Amazon will limit you to 3 pairs of shoes of any size, of any style. Doesn't mean they only have 3 in inventory, but what it does mean is that they're limiting you because they don't want a seller like me to come in and buy 80 pairs of shoes and buy them out and rob their other customers of the opportunity to, you know, to find some of these great deals. So, but when you have a group like this Facebook group, if we partner with each other, basically what we can do, we can say, hey, let's buy this certain pair of Calvin Klein shoes. Let's see if everybody were to buy 3. Well, I have a feeling that Amazon's going to sell out, and that way the price will go back up more quickly. So that's the advantage of a group buy, is that Amazon will sell out in a much quicker fashion, and therefore you can turn your profit a lot quicker than if you just buy your 3 and then wait for everybody else to buy their 3 and so on. So hopefully that made sense. Another advantage is you're going to have access to stock check. Now, this is another extension that John and Eric created and designed, and it is a huge help when you do your research. I use stock check every single day. I mean, I don't know if I could do without it now. And we're going to show you an example in a little while about stock check. Another extension that they created is Review Spy. It's a way to do some analysis of the reviews on an item. Like if you wanted to, like those Adidas shoes that Eric was talking about in the video, we could run Review Spy and we could get a better idea as far as, you know, if this certain color of shoe has a lot of reviews on it, is it selling? And so that's another advantage for this subscription, is that you're going to have access not only to stock check, but also to Review Spy. There's a lot more value to this thing that we're going to talk about a little bit later. But again, I want to repeat that the strategy here is buy from Amazon, hold on to those items, those shoes, until Amazon sells out or they go back up in price, and then ship them off and watch the sales come in. And again, I know I'm repeating myself, but this is a hugely profitable business model. A great opportunity to get into the shoe business. And, you know, when you think about it, like I I do some retail arbitrage, and I brought in home this week some bags from Walmart, and I got to thinking, you know, yeah, I'm going to make a little bit of money off these things, but these are things that I may have bought for $2 and I'm going to sell them for 10. And yeah, I'm doubling my money, with making $2 on each one. But man, with a pair of shoes, I mean, you can make $40, $50, $60, $70 on one pair of shoes. And so it's just highly profitable. Yeah, it does perhaps require a little bit more cash flow than say buying those $2 items at Walmart. But again, I really highly recommend this model because it can bring a very huge additional income stream for you. Now, before we move on, just wondering, John Senior, do you see any questions that people have, or anything we need to answer right now, or John Jr.?
I'm not seeing anything right now, Ken. I think they're more they're paying attention to what you're saying. I mean, if you guys do have questions, please put them in the chat and we'll make sure we get them answered for you.
Okay, now did you tell them that they needed to put it in chat or Q&A?
Q&A.
Okay, put them in.
No, I want it in the chat. The Q&A, the chat is something that we'll be able to get back to them. So that's important that it goes in chat. So when we go and do the replay of this, they'll not only get the replay, they'll get the chat too, which kind of helps when you're following it.
Okay, all right, so put your questions in the chat if you have any. Okay?
We have one. Michael says, aren't Adidas restricted?
Well, that's a great question, and it's one that there's not an easy answer to. For me personally, Adidas, for the most part, is not restricted. But at the same time, 6 months ago or maybe 9 months ago, it was restricted. It's one of those brands that I guess between Amazon and Adidas, they work out deals, and sometimes they put restrictions on them, sometimes they don't. It may also be a question of when you became approved in the shoe category. It could be that newer sellers have more restrictions on Adidas than others. So that, again, that's a real hard question to answer, but I sell Adidas practically every day, both apparel and shoes. So I guess it just depends on whether Amazon is going to say, yeah, you can, or no, you can't. But there's not just a wholesale answer to that particular question.
I think, Ken, my answer to that would be it's pretty random. I mean, it's like any other category that with the brand restrictions. I know there's things that we sell in that others can't sell in, and I know there's things that I can't sell in that others can sell in. It's just kind of a random thing. I don't know where Amazon comes up with their rhyme or reason of who they do and who they don't give approval to, but it's not, to answer Michael's question, I guess it's not across the board that everybody's restricted.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. And to follow up on that, I remember a couple months ago, I bought some Keen shoes, K-E-E-N. That's a great shoe. I bought them with Amazon Flips. And I didn't realize until I shipped them to Amazon that I was restricted on them. It allowed me to ship them, but once they got there, they suppressed them because I don't have the rights to sell them. And what really hurt my pride is that some of the people that I've coached in selling shoes, they had the rights to sell King, but there I was, their coach, couldn't even sell them myself. So it just kind of random, like John Senior said. Let me show you a couple of examples of flip opportunities. And what I did over the last couple of days, I've had some sales with items that I use this program to make my purchases. And these aren't grand slam type sales, but what I did, I just simply took the two most recent, regardless of what the profit was, and these are shoes that I sold. This is a Jules women's Kelly Welly. Boy, what about that name? Kelly Welly rain boot. And size 9, you see a picture of the shoe there. I paid, and this is with Amazon's tax included, is $12.80. You see the ace in there, and it sold for $54. Now, I didn't take the time to tell you what the actual net profit was, but I'm telling you, if I can buy for $12.80 and sell for $54, I'm going to do that all day long, and then some. So that was a huge, I won't say huge, not a huge profit, but certainly when it comes to ROI, that certainly went well over 100% as far as the net profit goes. I wanted to show that just sold over the last couple of days.
Hey, Ken, just to jump in real quick, I just wanted to let people know when you talked about the tax, there is a way that you can become tax exempt when you're purchasing from Amazon, and we cover that in our program. You also can do a Google search and probably figure out, where you need to go to do that. But you can buy stuff tax exempt if you want to.
Okay, good. In fact, I think we're going to talk about that just a little bit more shortly. So yeah, that's a great point. And in fact, when I said that my Amazon tax was included in this, I made this purchase before I realized that you could use your tax exempt status. So anyway, that's why I even mentioned that. But yeah, from now on, I know to use my tax-free privileges. All right. Here's a neat looking kids. I bought these, I think maybe 2 or 3 months ago. The feed was producing a lot of these shoes, and you see the New York Yankee emblem back on the back side, and the feeds were producing a number of these. I bought several different team names, and I paid $9.76 for the shoe. It sold for $32. Again, not a grand slam type of sale, but at the same time, it sure meets my criteria. And again, if I can do it, I do it all day long. And I bought these really, I guess, before spring training even started, or right at the beginning of spring training. But here we are in the next few weeks. The regular season will start. People are getting into the baseball mood. I think I bought some Dodgers brand, Kansas City Royals, and anyway, these are selling pretty good. And again, that's a pretty attractive profit there. So anyway, I wanted to show you a couple of real live examples. These are ones, again, that just sold out of my inventory over the last few days. So wanted to show some real examples there. All right, here's some questions. I know that if you're just now learning about Amazon flips, you may be loaded with questions, and these are some of the common ones that we try to answer, and but we come across these very regularly. First of all, people ask the question, they're concerned, is Amazon okay with this? I mean, are they going to end up slapping you on the wrist for doing this? Well, I don't have a full answer to that question other than to say that I know that there are thousands of people who are doing this very model, not just with shoes, but with other types of flips as well. And so Amazon puts these things on sale, and at least at this point, we have no evidence at all that they say, hey, you should not be doing this. However, this leads importantly to the next question, and that is, can I use my Prime privileges to purchase flips? Most Amazon sellers are also Prime members. They pay, I don't even know what it is now. Is it $95 or maybe a little bit more than that now a year? But you know, with Prime, basically you go to Amazon, you make a purchase, you can get 2-day shipping for free if you're a Prime member. Well, it's important that you not use this privilege whenever you're buying the shoes to turn around and flip them. That is a no-no. I can't give you any hard examples, but I've just heard through the grapevine that they can rebuke you or slap you, penalize you or whatever if they find out that you're using this 2-day shipping to turn around and sell those things back on Amazon. And so don't use your Prime privileges. Basically what you're going to do is the right up under the Prime 2-day shipping is what is called standard shipping. That's what you want to check on that. And all it does is delay the shipment for maybe 3 days, maybe 4 days. And with this model, you know, it's not really all that important to hurry up and get the items back in because in all likelihood, you're going to have to hold on to some of these items at least temporarily until Amazon raises their price or sells out. So not getting the 2-day shippings is no big deal at all. Another common question is, do I need a second account? In other words, a second Amazon account. And again, I don't think there's a straight up answer. It's not a black-white issue. I have made purchase. I do have a second account. I don't have 2 seller accounts. I just have 1 seller account and then what I call my buyer's account. What I have done with my most recent purchases, I am using my second account, a buyer's account, to make these purchases. Yeah, that's a matter of personal preference. Again, just going back up to the previous question, that's what you want to avoid, and that is using the Prime privileges for the shipment. Okay. Then, as John mentioned a moment ago, this idea of tax-exempt privileges. Yeah, there is a place, you know, it's hard to kind of navigate through the Amazon site sometimes. If you just put tax exempt in the search engine or even Google it, you should be directed to the page that will, it's just a matter of filling out a form and uploading it, sending it to Amazon, and you can make purchases using your tax exempt privileges. Okay, so that's very good to know, especially if you're going to be buying a lot from Amazon. Sure saves some dollars up front whenever you can use your tax exempt privileges. Another question is, you know, about our capacity of membership. And again, there's not a clear-cut answer to this question. Here's what we're trying to do. We want as many people in this membership as it takes to get enough group buying to where a member can go in and know that he can make these purchases. What we don't want is for our membership to go and try to make one of these purchases when the deals come in and say, oh, they already sold out. Okay, we're not at that sweet spot yet. We're trying to find that sweet spot. We started off with 50 members, and even that was not a cap yet because we were still not experiencing at all anyone saying, hey, these things are selling out. There are too many members. I'm going to bail out. I don't want to be a part of this. So whatever that sweet spot is, that's when we will cap it off. So right now we're raising it above 50 members. And if we get up to 60 or 70 and we see that we still haven't reached a sweet spot, we want to keep adding members until it reaches that prime level where we know that the groups can start talking with one another, making the group buys, and everybody's happy with what's going on. So I hope that made sense. And all I'm saying is we don't know what the capacity membership is yet, but we are striving for that sweet spot. Okay, I'm taking. Let me take a sip of water here. Brush my throat up a little bit. John or Eric, do you have anything you want to chime in on?
I'm sure we'll be chiming in here in a minute when we start getting to some of the extensions and how they function.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so here's what you get with your Flipping Shoes on Amazon subscription. And I mean, this is loaded. Some of it's repetitive, but yeah, you're going to get at least 300 potential deals a month, all of them with at least 80% ROI. Now, you know, common sense says that not everyone is going to buy all 300 of these deals that come in every month. I mean, nobody does that. I don't, John doesn't, Eric doesn't, Shoe Metro doesn't, whoever, you know, Shoe Metro is one of the big sellers of shoes on Amazon, but it gives you potential deals. You've got to do your own research and make your determination which ones you think are the better ones, and jump on them and see what happens. Okay, here's the next thing you get with your subscription. Membership into a private Facebook group. All right, to show my ignorance, what is FSOA, John?
Flipping Shoes on Amazon.
Oh, man,
Come on, Ken.
oh, man, I'm embarrassed. I thought that was some kind of technical Facebook term that you put up there.
That was a test, and you failed.
Okay, well, I did. I admit I failed. Okay. But as I mentioned earlier, this is a closed group, and just to those who subscribe. And so anyway, that's part of the privilege of subscribing each month. Okay, here's the next thing, the group buying power. And again, I've already mentioned this. I don't think I need to keep on talking about it. It's an area that we want to improve on. With our Facebook group, we want more communicating and dialoguing going on. And if I come across a deal that I'm going to purchase, then I'm going to put it on Facebook and say, hey, I just want to let everybody know I'm buying this. Anybody want to join me? And that's what we encourage all of our subscribers to do, is to speak up, because this is not something where we're competing with each other. We're joining in with each other for buying power. And, you know, a lot of deals, like, you know, I'm a member of other sites as well where you get deals sent to you, and it's highly competitive. You got to be the first one to get over to that online site and find the deals and get them purchased before anybody else does. But this is not that kind of high pressure. This is where we work with one another. We support each other. There's not the nasty competition that you see with other types of models. So there's a lot of pleasure in sharing with this type of group buying power. Okay, what else do you get with your subscription? You get access to Stock Check. I think we've got a screen here, a screenshot that shows how this works. And John, you can help me out with this if I'm forgetting something. But you see the arrows there. That's basically, this is a Chrome extension. It doesn't work, at least at this point. It won't work on your cell phone. It won't work with Firefox or Internet Explorer. You know, it's only works with Chrome. Okay, and so basically, this Stock Check is going to show you that Amazon bestsellers rank for pie face. This is just an example. It's not a shoe example. It's just, you know, it's just a general example. And it's also going to show you how many of those items are in stock if you add up all the different sellers. So the total quantity of pie face is 6788. Okay, and then it's got all the different sellers listed, and you can see each one, how many each one has in stock. Okay. This is huge whenever you're trying to make your purchasing decisions, to know who's competing with you, how many they have in stock. So this can be a huge help for you. And let me say one word again about Amazon. You never know. Again, just because Amazon says they have one in stock doesn't mean that's all they've got. It could mean that they're limiting you to one. You just don't know until you go in and actually try to make the purchase from them. Okay, here's another way that Stock Check works. You see this example of the New Balance shoes. the link there says show lowest offers. So you see it, as Eric stated in the video earlier, you see the range there of 2078 to 89.95. That's a pretty wide range of low price to high price. So when you click on that lowest offers, it's going to open up and show you the different lowest offers for this type of shoe. Now you see all the different shoes lined up side by side up toward the top. That's all the different types of or variations of the shoe that we're talking about, this New Balance WX811 training shoe. Okay, so now what StockCheck is going to do, it's going to show you the lowest price for each one. Okay, like that, the top one is a size 5. The color is Thunder Multi, and it shows that Amazon's got them for $20.78. It says it's got 3 in stock, which again, most likely 3 just simply means that's what you're limited. Now notice also, see the other 2 green arrows, it's going to show you what the next highest price is. So the lowest is $20.78. The next lowest price is $44.99. And then if you wanted to explore that a little bit further, you can click the show next button. Okay, so again, I think you can see the power behind this. And you know, there are other types of stock checkers out there. I can't even remember the names of them. You know, you're going to pay varied prices. Some are lifetime or once a year or every month. But what we're saying is that we're going to give you this free. It's a part of your subscription. So really what you're paying for are the deals that we send to you. These others are just simply bonuses that we've added to try to add a lot of value to your experience with flipping shoes on Amazon. John, what can you add to what I said there?
I think you did a good job. If we went back just real quick, I think you covered it well. But when you click the show next, what it's going to do is it's just going to show the next seller in line, unless there isn't any. Like if you look down here, the second example, it says next lowest price is none. So it'll tell you, you know, if there's another seller or not. But other than that, I think you covered it well.
Okay. All right, here's another bonus that we've added to it. Another extension that John and Eric have designed is called Review Spy. And let's just give you an example. Remember the kid shoes? I think this is this what you've got here, John? Or
it could be. I'm not 100%
okay.
sure where we pulled this from. I think it was, though.
But anyway, it just shows you the different variations, the Yankees, Braves, Tigers, etc. And it shows you, you know, I don't know how many total reviews this item had. You know, just because a shoe has very few reviews doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to buy it, nor if it has a 500 reviews that it means you should buy it. But it just breaks it out, and it can show you which ones are selling better. Even though there's not a whole lot of reviews to gauge this one on, it does show that, hey, people are jumping on the Yankees. So, which is, you know, like a no-brainer. I mean, you either hate the Yankees or you love them. I'm on the hater end. So
just to do a quick overview too, in case anyone's not following what this is doing, is basically we've got an extension that when you go to an Amazon product page, it's pulling all of the reviews that were left for that product and putting it into a format that's a little easier to navigate. You know, how many of those reviews were left for a particular size or color.
Yeah. And before you move on to the next one, to give you an example, I'm going to just kind of fabricate some numbers here. But let's say on this chart that you have here, let's say that that there are 200 reviews on total on this shoe. Then you've got all the variations. Well, if New York Yankees had let's say 50 and Braves had 45 and the Tigers had 38 and all that, and then down at the bottom you see the Giants had 0, most likely what that means is that you're going to hold on to that Giants version a whole lot longer than if you were to buy the Yankees version. And because reviews, the number of reviews it's kind of a scientific mathematical process that it's just gives you a better idea that which ones are going to sell more quickly, because the number of reviews that an item has typically is based on the number of sales. I don't know if I just made it muddier, but hopefully that makes sense. Okay, what do we have next there, John?
All right. So,
okay, so we have access to flipping shoes on Amazon ebook. That's a book that I wrote and revised it within the last year, just to update on a lot of things. A lot of things have changed with Amazon. A lot of things have changed as far as competition levels on Amazon. I deal with things like, how to compete with Amazon when they're on the same item you're trying to sell, and probably even need to update it again because there are a few things I've learned since this revised edition came out. But anyway, that'll be a part of the bonus that we throw in for your subscription to Flipping Shoes on Amazon. Okay, man, this is one that's just completely unbelievable. Man, I mean, it is unbelievable. Access to seller reimbursement. You're probably getting word pretty quickly that Amazon owes you money. They owe you money because they have lost inventory of yours. Customers have bought your products and got refunded for them, but never sent those products back to you. Some of those items have been damaged in the warehouse, and the list goes on and on. But chances are that if you have sold on Amazon, at least for a period of 4 or 5 months, chances are Amazon owes you money because of these different scenarios. And it's just unbelievable, the testimonies that John and Eric, in fact, instead of me telling you, let me just let them tell you. John,
I'll go first because mine's a lot less significant. So.
All right, but how much, approximately how much have you retrieved from Amazon using this system?
Basically, since we started using this and built it out, I started back in January, around January 24th, and basically from January 24th up until today, I've probably gotten back over $41,000 back from Amazon.
How many thousand?
41,000 and counting, because we're not done yet.
Man. And y'all need to understand. Okay, John.
I like that part. We're not done yet.
What, John Senior? What'd you say?
I like that part. We're not done yet.
Now, Eric, as of today, about how much have you retrieved?
So this is where I get excited, guys, because this is just unbelievable. I started the same exact time as John, so about around 2 months now. And I, no kidding, have gotten back over $110,000.
I mean, that's crazy.
I can just show you just the one email I got this morning. I'm going to share my screen real quick.
Okay.
And just to show these guys one email I got this morning.
We've got a couple examples too. Once you're done.
Yeah. Can you see this?
Talk to us about it.
This says your account will be credited $5,432.44. And I got one very similar to this yesterday. So it's still going. It's just amazing. It's allowed me to pay my house payments. Literally from one email, I can pay 2 house payments. It's just so powerful. I've just been so excited really to show it to people. And it's just amazing. The Amazon owes us this much money. And if we didn't have a program like this, we would never even know. We would never even get it back. Yeah. So just to give you a little back idea of this, I've probably been having a somewhat similar process as this for like the last 3 years. And I was paying the company 25% of everything I got back.
Yeah.
So my philosophy was, if I wasn't going to get any money back, I'd rather have 75% of something than 100% of nothing. I was okay with paying 25%. Well, since we started and created our own system here, it's basically just blown out and out of the water, because that one's been going all along. But as I just told you, I've gotten over $110,000 back even after this other system went through. So this other system wasn't obviously, I don't know, up to par.
Yeah.
So it's just incredible. It's absolutely a game changer. Obviously, my results, we do several $1 million a year, so I sell a lot of items. But it's amazing how much Amazon has lost of my items. So.
Correct me if I'm wrong too, Eric. This only goes back 18 months. So guys, if you haven't done anything to retrieve any money from Amazon and it's over 18 months old, guess what Amazon did with your money?
They kept it.
Yeah.
If you submit a claim that's 18 months and a day over, unless you get a really generous seller support agent, they will keep it. They'll say that it only goes back 18 months. So I can't even imagine how much money, if I would have been using our system for the past 6-7 years of selling on Amazon, how much money that they got to keep that they actually owed me.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
It's kind of scary.
Share that.
Amazon actually is supposed to automatically refund you all of these items, but you can see that that's just not the case. So, and chances are they're not going to refund you unless you actually create a case. Now, what makes it so simple and valuable, just like that example that Eric shared a while ago, I mean, if you were paying 25%, that other company was going to get more than $1,000, maybe $1,500 or $1,500 just from that yesterday's refund.
Yeah, so, one day.
Yeah, in one day. And to imagine that you can keep that in your own pocket instead of having to pay that percentage fee for someone else finding it for you. And again, what's crazy is that we're including this service to you as a part of your monthly subscription to Flipping Shoes on Amazon. I won't bore you with the details of it, but basically it's harmless. It's just a simple process of filing a report. We help you determine the cases that you need to submit to Amazon. It's just a matter of cutting and pasting it and opening up the claim with them and then waiting on their response to you. So this is huge. This is a valuable bonus that we're throwing in to the Flipping Shoes on Amazon subscription. And again, I just reiterate, Amazon most likely does owe you some money.
I just wanted to show a couple more examples real quick because it's just fun to do. Can you see the bottom where it says what the amount credited is, or is it cut off?
It's cut off, John.
Okay.
Just barely cut off.
Bummer.
I can. There we go.
Is 47, 20, 41.
Can you see it now?
Almost.
Oh, well.
There it is.
Not sure
Yeah, now.
Here's the second one. Do you see the big one?
So what you're seeing there is Amazon didn't reimburse me each day like they normally do. So they basically waited about a week. And all of a sudden, I started to get a little nervous that they weren't sending anything to me, telling me, hey, you're getting back X amount today. Hey, you're getting back X amount today. So when about a week came by, I get one email. I look at the bottom of it, and it says your account will be credited US $42,869.28.
And it's like this isn't fake stuff. Like, this really happened. When you look at numbers like this, and we know that every seller is not selling the volume that Eric is, obviously. But like, they literally credited 42 grand into his account for stuff that they lost, that if he didn't put these cases in, they were just going to keep. If it goes after the 18 months, that they're pocketing this. No questions asked. You're not getting it back.
It's incredible.
All right, we ready to move on?
Guys, can I get you to say wow in the chat? I mean, really? I mean, if that's not wow by anybody here watching this, then I don't know what else is a wow, because that's like unbelievable. And Eric probably saw it and thought, okay, yeah, this is a joke.
I couldn't believe it, honestly. it's been pretty incredible.
Okay, so basically all that we've talked about over the last hour is here's what it costs, $150 a month, and again, basically you're paying for the shoe deals that we send you. Everything else are just bonuses that we got our heads together and said, listen, we want this to we want to add as much value as possible to this group. We believe in it. We believe the business model will work. We believe it's valuable enough, even if we don't even throw in the bonuses. But we wanted to add as much value as possible. In fact, we're knocking our heads together still, just trying to come up with other ideas of ways that we can still sweeten the pot in the future. So we're looking for even additional ways, hopefully, that will come in the future. But the way you sign up for this service, you see the website there, sellerextensions.com/flipping shoes. And just wondering if senior and junior, somebody, if you could paste that over into the chat, just so people maybe can cut and paste it.
Are you able to do that, Eric?
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay. I just, while we've still got everyone on here, before you all go, if you go to this page, even if you decide this isn't for you right now, it's not always a perfect fit or perfect timing for everybody right now. If you go to the very bottom of that page, we're offering to do like your first submission for a case for reimbursements completely free. So just for joining us on the call, we appreciate the time that you're taking to, spend some time with us today. Go ahead and submit your information. We'll do one free case for you. There's a very good chance that you'll get money back on that case submission, just for spending a little bit of time with us today. We appreciate that.
Yeah, very much, John. That's great.
Definitely.
Now, are there any questions in the chat, or anybody got any final words or questions that we can help you with?
Were there any questions?
I have one from Anthony. He says, when I buy shoes, should I mention it on Facebook?
Help me to understand the question. I'm not sure if I understand.
The question is, if you're over 50 years old and your name is Ken, do you understand the question? No. Hey.
Over 60.
I said over 50, that's all. Hey, when I buy shoes, should I mention it on Facebook?
You're talking about apart from the... Oh, yeah, I think I hear what you're saying. We want people to let us know when you make a purchase. We want to hear the victories. We want to hear, I bought this one, and it sold. I made $40 off of it. Even if you're struggling, we want to hear the solid stories as well. So, we communicate.
The more feedback we get from our subscribers, the more we can do to help you guys.
Exactly.
So I don't see any more questions here. If you guys don't have any more questions, Ken, Eric, and John, how can these guys reach out? And might have a question, but how can these guys reach out and get in touch with you if they want more information on anything? Because I know that you guys have all these tools, and I know that you have something else that Eric and John are working on. You guys are always constantly working on stuff. You got some great tools coming out. If they want to stay in touch with you and say, hey guys, I want to follow you and I want to know what you guys are doing, what you're making, I want to be on that list or something, how do they get in touch with you?
I would say they could either contact us at sellerextensions@gmail.com, or a lot of our stuff is off that base website, sellerextensions.com.
And we do have a couple of questions. Paul says, how much funding should we have to start?
Yeah, that's a tough question. And the only reason I say it's tough, shoes typically are more expensive than a CD or a book or some of the other items you may sell on Amazon. And I don't know, there's no right or wrong answer of that. I would say that if you had several $1,000s, it would be certainly to your advantage. It's just almost like saying what would be better to go to the department store. Should you go with $100 or $1,000? Well, I prefer to go with 1,000. But the more cash flow you've got, the more you can invest in some good profitable items. it's just going to take you longer to build up your cash flow if you're only starting with a couple $100 to buy some shoes with. And I'm not saying it can't be done; it can, but you're just going to have to determine if you've only got $200, then you've got to make sure that you use that $200 very, very wisely, and you've got to wait until you can get those shoes sold and make a little bit of profit and build your cash flow until you can keep building it. But if you had a couple of $1,000, to invest in some shoes, I think you'd be well on your way. John or Eric, you got any feedback on that? That's just my opinion.
No, I agree with that. I think if you've only got a couple $100, you're probably not ready for this yet.
That's probably more honest.
Exactly.
More honest answer.
We have Anthony asking, the same person that asked about the Facebook question, says, should I mention it so we can all buy together? I think it's a follow-up to his first question.
Yeah, and you said Anthony asked that?
Yes.
Yeah, Anthony, that's what we want. We want our customers, or rather our subscribers, to do that. We can't promise you, though, that if you throw something out there that's saying, hey, this looks like a great deal, who wants to go in and join me? It doesn't mean that people are going to line up and join you. I hope that they would, but it's, hey, this is a free world and people can respond or they can't respond. It's their own personal preference. But we're trying to build a community where there's a lot of freedom and openness in sharing these ideas and joining in with one another. And you may be the very one to help lead us moving toward that direction.
We have another question here from Lou. I know the answer to this, but I know that you guys used to have a workaround for this. I don't know if you still do. Lou says, do I have to be approved on Amazon to sell shoes? It looks like Eric typed it, but you might want to elaborate a little bit.
Eric, you want to answer that?
Yeah, I mean, you do have to be approved to sell shoes on Amazon. The approval process used to be extremely difficult, and as of the last, 6 months or so, it's been very simple. Basically, you just go in and you apply, and it's usually auto-approved. So can't guarantee it 100%, but that's been all the cases that I've known of lately. That's been the case. So.
Yeah, and let me piggyback off what Eric said there too, and mention that if you have not been approved in shoes yet and you gain approval, just know that in all likelihood Amazon is going to put more brand restrictions on you than someone who has been selling shoes, say, for several years. And a lot of the deals that we send out, not everyone can make these purchases on all 300 deals every month. Like we said earlier, some are restricted on this certain brand and others aren't. It's just, again, it's random. So just know that up front, that you will have more restrictions, more brand restrictions, but still there should be enough deals coming through that you can make very profitable purchases. In fact, our subscribers have indicated that they're okay with us going ahead and posting some deals that are kind of restricted across the board. For example, New Balance. I don't know of anyone that has privileges to sell New Balance. However, we will put those out there sometimes because some people buy these and they put them on Amazon, eBay, or maybe even Walmart.com for that matter.
Exactly.
Wherever. Just be aware of that.
Anthony has another, he reworded his question a little bit. He says, when I purchase shoes, should I tell the groups so we all can make the same purchase? The purpose being to buy out Amazon faster.
The answer to that question is yes, with an exclamation point.
Fantastic. And just one other thing I was thinking is if for some reason you guys aren't interested in, shoes, we will have our reimbursement system up as a standalone product soon. Right now the site's, we just have some maintenance on it, but just want to throw that out there.
But it won't be free, will it, Eric?
What was that?
It won't be free, though, will it?
Nope, you got to pay for it if you're not a part of our. That's why we're trying to just build a nice community. that has access to all of our tools and extensions and all things that make John and mine and Ken's Amazon businesses easier and simpler. Time is valuable, and all these little things really help simplify things. So
Yeah, Donna asked, any problem with Amazon accepting their own receipt on authentic claims?
I've never heard of that.
So I guess there'd be no problem.
I can't imagine there would be. If you run into that, I would be surprised. Amazon to say, hey, I know you bought it from us, but it's fake.
I haven't heard of anyone either that's had a problem doing that. I'm not saying that Amazon can't be difficult to work with at times, but I've never seen anything so far with that issue.
Yeah, same here.
All right, guys, that looks like all the questions. Hey, guys, great show. It's a pleasure having you all here. You guys are movers and shakers in my world. Ken, you're doing amazing things with the shoes, and just being part of our family and getting to know you over the years. And Eric, same thing. And we already know John Jr., so like I said, it's great having you guys here. Guys, if you don't get excited just about the reimbursement thing alone, I mean, that to me, when Eric said he got $41,000 back, and I would have looked at that and called up Amazon and said, I think you made a mistake, but that's just me because I'm cautious.
It's in my account.
I would not want that to come back on me later and say, hey, listen, we made a mistake. We want our money back, which obviously, those things can happen, but from what these guys have been doing for months now, they seem to be adding to their accounts and getting these reimbursements and these flipping shoe things that they have in this group, this community. It's a great group, great community. If you guys are looking for another stream of income, again, we're always looking for multiple streams of income. If you guys are looking for another stream of income, this is just another one of those streams with the shoes. Be able to give you the tools that you need with Stock Check and what was the other one?
Review Spy.
Review Spy. I should know them, but just giving you more options with more tools to be able to do the things that you need to do to make your life simpler, so that when you have the right tools, it's less time, less headaches, less work. You guys don't have to worry about going through and doing all that stuff manually. That's the whole purpose of this thing. I want to give you an update. I have Nathan Hirsch coming on Tuesday on an afternoon show again. Nathan is a serial entrepreneur, and he is going to be talking about ninja hacks to manage remote teams. It's going to be a great webinar. It's going to be also in the afternoon. I will post it as we get closer to it, but just be aware and look out for that one. That's going to be coming up Tuesday. I think it's the 21st will be my next webinar. Guys, again, thanks for coming here. I enjoy having you guys here. It's a great show, a lot of information. And guys, if you want to go into shoes and sell shoes, this is a great opportunity for you to take action. So again, God bless you all for being here. I appreciate you guys coming here in the afternoon and listening to this. And the ones that are here and listening, you will actually get the replay and the chat when it's available later sometime tomorrow. Thanks again. Thank you guys again, and God bless to all.
Thanks, John.
Later, guys.